Hey, what's up guys, MGH here and welcome to a video where we're going to be talking about FIFA 16 career mode. I've got some great ideas that I want to share with you guys and I just want to have a chat about what I think will be in this year's career mode and what I want to be in it. So sit back, relax and let's get into it. Check out the gamekeys.co.uk below in the description for instantly delivered game codes at bargain prices. Use MGH at checkout for a discount. So the first thing I should mention, guys, is the fact that it is June and a lot of the features in career mode will be done by now. There probably isn't enough time to include some new ideas. So a lot of these ideas that I'm thinking of and will be showing in this video probably wouldn't make it until FIFA 17. However, we don't know what's going to be in 16. It might be that these ideas that I'm going to be talking about are already in the game. It might be, and I really hope so, because these ideas I've got, they're very simple, but it would change career mode completely, and I'm really excited to get into it. So the first one I want to talk about is position changes. Now, you're going to see on screen right now, I have an Arsenal career mode from FIFA 15. Now, obviously, it's going to look completely different. Apparently, they've got turquoise menus, you know, like the light blue kind of style. And but I wanted to use FIFA 15 as an example. It's easy to show you then what my thoughts are. So you can see on screen there, I've got Chambers highlighted. He is a right back at Arsenal. Now, one thing that I think is lacking in career mode is the ability to change your player's position. Now, of course, you can play Chambers at CDM, no problem. You can just drag him into a CDM position and just play him there. And the likelihood is he will play just as well as a normal CDM would be there because of his stats and how it works. Although it doesn't matter, I would like this to be in the game. So you can see I've got a little menu there. By pressing X, I can change his position. Really, if you imagine that word change is actually train, so you can train a new position, it kind of makes sense. So maybe I should have changed that to train. But you'll also notice that he's only got 5 position changes there available. Now, I don't want this being abused. You don't want goalkeepers being changed into strikers. A right back will probably do okay at CDM, so therefore that's kind of a realistic change. So kind of like Ultimate Team, you can change positions a little bit, but not too much. So with Chambers, he is a right back, so you should make it possible to play him at right mid, right wing, centre back, centre defensive midfielder and central midfielder. I think that kind of makes sense. And I've got another image here, and this time it is Sanchez. So Sanchez is of course a right winger in the game. However, he is deployed pretty much everywhere. He's on the left, he's in the middle, he's up front. So here, his positions could be right mid, left wing, cam and centre forward, and I couldn't fit in striker there. So it would kind of make sense to be able to make him into whatever you want. And again, it's more of an OCD thing. You can play Sanchez, even though he's a right winger, at cam, and it really wouldn't make any difference, but I want to be able to officially change his position. That's what I would like to do. And staying on with, you know, kind of stats and positions and stuff like that, here you can see an image of Arsenal's squad report. We've got Mesut Ozil here, and what I decided to do was put my new idea in this screen because it kind of explains it easily. So what you can see here is in the bottom corner, we've got press X to train stats, and then it comes up with a list of stats, and there's obviously way more you can do. I just couldn't fit it all in one box, so I've got a little more button at the bottom. So say for example Ozil, he doesn't have the best stamina in this game. I've always wanted to be able to train players and get them better at certain stats. Now for me, the first thing I would do with Mesut Ozil is stamina and strength. I would love to, you know, get him in the gym and get him working on those stats. So the idea here is it takes 4 weeks to gain +5. It could be a little bit overpowered, it could be underpowered. Let me know what you think, but you can see in the top right corner there, it would take 4 weeks to get his stamina up by 5. I think it'd be really cool. And what I would say is you can only do 1 stat at a time, so it wouldn't be overpowered. But imagine, you know, getting some players that maybe you've converted Chambers to a CDM and you want to improve his tackling, or you want to improve his agility to get around the pitch better. It would just be such a cool way to customize the game further and make it feel like it really is your team. Now, moving on from positions and stats and things like that, let's move on into contracts. So up here on screen now, you'll see I'm going to purchase Morgan Schneidlin. Let's imagine I had nowhere near enough money to do this. Let's say I had 10 million. We're looking at 13 to 16.9 million. Now, this happens a lot in career mode, especially with teams with lesser budgets. If you really want a player and he's too much, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to try again another time when you've got some money, or more money I should say. So here I've got you can add options into the game by pressing triangle. And you can see I've got a little list here. I know it's not very professionally done. It's only a quick Photoshop job that I did this morning. The options could be something like you can pay 50% now and 50% later. And of course, this would be down to the club that you're approaching. So it would be down to Southampton to agree. I'd also maybe offer monthly installments. So let's say you have got that 10 million, but you're prepared to pay $1 million per month or something like that for a whole season to therefore own Schneiderlin at the end. Or you could offer a percentage as, you know, as you sell him on, you will have to give some of that profit to Southampton, and that way it could reduce the price of the player. Basically, just more negotiation options. And the one that I've got selected here is to offer a buyback option. So you could buy him a little bit cheaper. Maybe I could get him for 7 million or something like that. But if Southampton want him back, there is a buyback option where they can buy him back from me for a pretty cheaper price as well. So it's a bit more risky, because if Schneiderlin is in your plans and he's your first team player and suddenly Southampton want him back, you're kind of screwed, but you get him cheaper. Now obviously there could be many more options, there's a little more button underneath, but those ones I thought were the main ones. I think the monthly installments one is pretty damn awesome, although you could quickly run into trouble. If you're buying all these players on monthly installments, suddenly you can find that you're going to lose your players. It would be interesting and it'd be a challenge. And there's another image I've got here. This is of Marco Reus. So we're looking at him, we're going to add him to our shortlist and scout him or whatever. You can see his stats on the right side and you can see his values on the left. So his value is £34 million, his wage is 150,000 per week. We can see he's 86 overall. But what if they included a clause in their contracts? Not for every player, but for the big players in the world of football. This is a very realistic thing. It happens a lot in real world football. They'll add a clause into the contract, and if you don't know what that means, let's say Royce has a £42.5 million clause. That would mean if I was to activate that clause, basically, if I was to offer up that money to the club, which would be Dortmund in this case, I would then legally be allowed to talk to Royce about a transfer. Otherwise, it's not allowed. You cannot, approach the player and offer him money and things like that for him to join your club until you've activated the clause or if you've got permission from the club. So basically, I would then be able to talk to Royce without the permission of Dortmund, but I would obviously have to offer the full clause. So you can see I've got it highlighted here. Let's say I really wanted Royce. I didn't want to negotiate with the club. I just wanted to buy him right now. If he wanted to sign up for the team, he would then be able to join us. No questions asked. You would have to activate the £42.5 million clause and he would be your player, providing you can offer him a good contract. So those are the main ideas. I know it's not the longest video. I didn't want to go into too much detail and I didn't want to go into anything else that I basically have bubbling around in my mind, because it is a little bit too late and I want to save some of these ideas for when we're looking at FIFA 17 next year, because I want to see what's in 16 first. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I'd really appreciate a like rating. Let me know what you think of my ideas, and I will see you for another video soon, guys.